Well, that's definitely not the best I've felt coming out of a series. Jeff Hoffman gets his revenge. But are we still happy?
You are Locked On Blue Jays, your daily Toronto Blue Jays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Blue Jays your first listen every day. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. As always, I'm Brayden solo for a little bit here. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Locked On Blue Jays. You can follow me on Twitter, Brayden5 Carter, as usual, on Carter First 2, as well on our main Twitter account at Locked On Blue Jays. And if you haven't subscribed here on YouTube already, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. You get your shorts, your podcasts, your live streams, your videos, the whole ordeal, all right there for free. So you might as well help us out. Hit that button. A lot to get into on today's episode of Locked On Blue Jays. Obviously, Jeff Hoffman gets his revenge. The big-time play, eighth inning savior, Addison Barger, who has not looked good as of late, but we'll talk more and more about that as we go on. And I want to talk about this series just as a whole because, you know, are you happy about this one? Are you sort of somewhere in the middle, or are you still not happy with the product that was on the field? So we'll talk about all of that on today's episode. But I think we got to talk about the man of the hour. A lot of group chats that I was in was not happy when they saw in the ninth inning, Yariel Rodriguez and Jeff Hoffman both warming up for that ninth inning. Obviously, the Blue Jays comeback win 9-8 over the Minnesota Twins. And Hoffman and Yariel Rodriguez are both up in the pen as the bottom of the eighth inning is happening. And I'm thinking, oh no, immediately in my head, I get why John Schneider makes that decision to then go to Jeff Hoffman. He wants to give him that rebound outing, that chance to make things right. But I still wasn't super confident. I wasn't feeling amazing about it. I was quite worried. It was a one-run ball game, just the same situation that he came into the day before. So I think in a lot of my friends' heads and people that were texting me was that same fear of, do you go back to him? And what happens if he gets lit up once again? That would have not ended well, to say the very least. They get up 9-8. They sit Yariel Rodriguez back down and bring Jeff Hoffman back into the game. At this point, I am so nervous because I think this could go one of two ways, right? Either that Jeff Hoffman gets the revenge save and everybody's saying, well, he should have gotten this one. It's against a bad baseball team. I'm not going to lie and say that this is a good team. They have some good players, but there's not many. The Minnesota Twins aren't a great ball team, and I mean, that's not surprising to anybody. Just going over Jeff Hoffman's line, obviously the one inning pitch, he gave up one hit, one strikeout, is able to get the job done. And I guess the big conversation what I want to ask all of you guys is, how do you feel about that? Does this bring you back in your confidence level with Hoffman? Are you still pretty pessimistic in regards to this whole situation? Because, I mean, I can go back to some of the comments that we've gotten on yesterday. Obviously, just yesterday's video. It's crazy how back-to-back days can have you feeling two different type of ways. We had a Brewers fan in the comment section yesterday saying, looking forward to hitting Jeff Hoffman. Yeah, and I understand the thought process because this is the guy that's going to be blasted all over Sportsnet and you know, on the highlight reels that Jeff Hoffman blows a save. Jeff Hoffman has had a very good season, and I don't want to take that away from him. But when he isn't on and he doesn't have his stuff, it doesn't look good. And even the first two pitches of this outing for Hoffman were two balls not close to the strike zone, two fastballs that he could not locate. The splitter looked fantastic. The splitter looked like one of the best pitches he's thrown all season. But the rest of his pitches weren't great. The fastball was moving, but anything else, he was a two-pitch pitcher in that game pretty much. So I don't know. I don't know if my confidence level is super, super high on him right now, or it's just that, hey, he came in against a really bad ball club and got the job done like he should have yesterday or 2 days ago, I guess, as you guys are listening to this. So I don't know where I sit on the whole Jeff Hoffman situation. And I think it's a great move by John Schneider to get him back out there. I think if you want to put him in a situation to succeed, you need him in that situation. You need his confidence level to then grow once again. And I think getting him in again against the same team that just beat him and having him succeed there is only going to do better things for him moving forward. Am I still convinced that Hoffman can get it done in a playoff situation? It always comes back to a playoff situation at this point of the season. No. In a one-run ball game in the playoffs, Jeff Hoffman on the mound, do I have 100% faith? No. But would I have faith in any of these guys right now in this bullpen, the way August has went for this entire bullpen, to get the job done? No, I don't think so. So again, leave your comments down below. I'm going to react to a couple more here just before we do talk about sort of the rest of the game that happened, because we did get a ton on Jeff Hoffman that I do want to address. This person says, truthfully, if our pitchers continue the way they have been, I don't think we make it far in the playoffs. That's the most understated thing of this part of the year. If your pitching can't be good in the offseason or in the postseason, you are not going to succeed. I don't care how good your offense is. I don't care if your offense is able to crawl back like they were in this game. You're not going to win. You're not going to win a series. So the bullpen has to figure it out before they hit the postseason. And there still is a month of baseball left. There still is a month of baseball to go in and make changes and fix things. If it is just mentally, I don't know what it is. Again, I'm going to have to dig deep into the stats. I did give you guys a little bit of an update on Hoffman's arm slot. And I think it does play well with his fastball. Sort of the closer he is sideways, or the further he is sideways, it helps the fastball play. The fastball has a little bit more bite to it when it comes back, sort of almost like a two-seam coming back at the hitters, or I guess at the right-handed hitters. The problem is with every other pitch. The splitter, the slider. When he's trying to throw those two pitches from that sort of more sideways arm slot, it doesn't go well because you lose control. Whereas more so if you're coming over the top, you're going to get more control of those two pitches, specifically the splitter, even though the splitter was his best pitch of the day. So take with that what you will. I guess, you know what? I'm just going to move right on to sort of what happened in the rest of the game in regards to the offense. Because again, I think the way that this offense was able to battle back and it not be, again, some of your best players. I mean, Vladdy goes 0 for 4 in this ballgame. Vladdy goes 0 for 4 when the Jays are up 9-8 that could have used an extra run to tally on. You could have really used him in a big moment. He didn't happen. But luckily, Barger apparently has the clutch gene. Barger has been fantastic. And you know what? I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back. I'm going to really get into everything that was the Addison Barger comeback, the way that it all happened, the substitution of players, all of that. And again, later on into the show, whether I really liked or disliked this series as a whole. I think you guys can sort of tell where I land based on this first segment here of the show. But I'll come back right after this short break. Today's episode brought to you by Upside. Hey, Blue Jays fans, are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited promo code SEASON and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You could make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already need, which is crazy. Honestly, when I found out about this app, I was blown away. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using my limited time promo code SEASON for a limited time 25 cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. Just continuing on, obviously talking about the whole Addison Barger situation, the comeback, everything that happened sort of leading to the massive comeback that was the Toronto Blue Jays game. This was a game that the offense needed to do their job. The pitching wasn't fantastic. Eric Lauer got shelled. I mean, giving up 10 hits, 8 runs, 6 of them earned. It's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you. And as much as I've loved Eric Lauer, I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I was praying to God that it wasn't going to come at this time of the season and that it wasn't, and he would just roll through this season unscathed, be one of the Toronto Blue Jays' best pitchers, and that would be a story in itself. This game seemed like it was the other shoe dropping that we've sort of all in our minds thought was going to happen. You know, you look at Eric Lauer's Baseball Savant page and nothing stands out. Like nothing is crazy off the page that's telling you that this guy should be a, low 2s ERA guy. So, yeah, not super impressed with how that outing went. So the offense needed to be good. And they were. I mean, realistically, George Springer goes 2 for 4. And the man of the hour, I mean, I don't know. I guess you could place it on 2 guys, but Addison Barger was absolutely fantastic going 1 for 5 in that game, just in the biggest moment, right? Just in the biggest moment, Addison Barger was there. He has not been good. But in a game situation, chips are down, money's on the line, and you need a guy to come up with a massive hit, and Addison Barger delivers and handles that at bat perfectly. So shout out to Addison Barger. But the man of the hour, the man of the day, Davis Schneider. 2 solo shots for Schneider's going 2 for 3 on the day. Gets a walk in there as well. Davis Schneider has been a little bit of a hidden gem. Not a guy that's going to play every day. A guy that is going to come off the bench and most of the time just go against lefties. But this is a guy that could be playing for a team. He's going to be a hot and cold guy. A guy that was drafted so late, had an excellent start. And then had the last season that just really, really didn't go his way. Even to the start of this season, before being sent down to AAA, you get Davis Schneider back. And when you did recall him, he's been excellent ever since. So a huge day for him. And it's just a feel-good story for this guy. He's one of those players that you just love to cheer for. And when he's able to come up big for this ball club, I think it means that much more. So shout out him. And I got to shout out Ty France. Ty France gets his first home run as a Toronto Blue Jay, and it couldn't have come at a better time. You needed a little spark, and he was that guy. And since coming to the Toronto Blue Jays, a guy that me and Carter both have said a ton on this podcast, saying he was not our favorite guy to be brought into this type of situation. What a time to be able to come alive and get it going. And it seems like, for a while there was every player on this Toronto Blue Jays team was having success. I just wasn't convinced Ty France was going to continue like the rest of the players and have that success. But it is massive. You need all of your players. Everybody in the lineup needs to be doing their job. For this offense to be successful, you can't rely on 2 guys because you are going to need different guys every night. That's just how it is. As much as I want to say Vlad needs to be there every single game, that's just not going to happen. As good as Bichette is, that's just not going to happen. He goes 2 for 5 today with another big day. But Daulton Varsho goes 0 for 4. So it's, again, some guys are having great games, some guys didn't. But then tomorrow it could be a completely different story, and that guy could play really good and the other guy may not. One more thing I wanted to really touch on specifically from this game, and sort of over the past little bit, is the ability for runners to steal bags against the Toronto Blue Jays. It is a problem. You cannot let other teams steal on you this much. If that happens, you are giving them a free runner in scoring position. A single now drives in that run. And I don't know who to blame this on. Because we've seen how good Kirk is at throwing runners out. Even some of Heineman's throws really looked good. It seemed like he got up quick and got the throws off. It's just they were slow. So a little bit of me is starting to believe that this pitching staff isn't going as quick to home and being able to hold those runners effectively enough. And again, in the playoffs, where every base matters and every out matters, and being able to throw guys out if they are trying to take that bag on you will be so important. So I'm a little concerned. I'm going to, again, a month left of baseball. So we'll see what happens. I don't want to place too much judgment quite yet. But this pitching staff needs to have that in the back of their mind. And I guess when you're going through a tough stretch as a pitching staff and nobody really jumping off the page, maybe you're worried just about, hey, I got to focus on the hitter. I can't be worried about the runner because I can barely control the pitches as is right now. And that's maybe what it seems like that these pitchers are going through, that, oh my goodness, I have to dial in to have good stuff. I can't worry about the runners. But if that's the case, you're behind the 8 ball already. So I guess we'll wait and see what happens with the stolen base stuff and how they address that going into the last month of the season. But something that's definitely concerning and that I would say to watch out for the next little bit. Because you can't be letting guys take bags like that. Another guy with a great day that, I think we've given flowers as of late is Andres Gimenez. I mean, going 2 for 3 with a home run, 2 RBI. This is exactly what you need out of a 9-hole hitter. You need him to be able to come up in not even big situations. You need him just once in a while be able to flip the lineup over, get you back to the top. So I think as much of grief as we've given Andres Gimenez ever since he's come back from the IL stint, you got to like what he's been doing, especially in the 9-hole. If he's doing, stuff what he's doing now in the 4 or 5-hole, you're pretty concerned about that. But as a 9-hole hitter that plays amazing defense and can sort of do what he's doing with the bat right now, I think you're more than thrilled with that. It's my biggest worry was when he was coming back that he wasn't going to be that guy. The bat was going to disappear and he was just going to be a defensive player, which if you were a playoff team, you cannot have players like that. You need everybody cooking. If you want to be seriously in the running or in the conversation that you could possibly win a World Series, you can't just have a defensive player on the field and sacrifice a bat. The playoffs are won with the long ball. And I don't think the Blue Jays are a team that can beat you with the long ball. I think they're a team that needs to go base to base and then get the long shot. So I think there are a lot more questions going into the last month of this season that I will have for this team to prove to me that they can do damage in the playoffs. Again, still in a decent spot. As of right now, I believe they're 4 games up on the Red Sox, I believe, because the Red Sox did win yesterday as well. I just want to confirm. I think they beat the Orioles 3-2. They beat the Orioles 3-2 yesterday. So you keep the distance. Houston ended up beating the Rockies. Detroit ended up dropping another game to the Athletics, 7-0. Wild stuff going on. So the Blue Jays now actually are back in the lead of the AL because the Detroit Tigers have now lost back-to-back games against the Athletics. So it's just a wild turn of events. I think you always know that good teams can lose to bad teams. That can happen. Actually, they were swept by the Athletics. There you go. Swept by the Athletics. And good teams can lose to bad teams. That is baseball. Especially in a 162-game season, that is going to happen. And I think as much as I'm going to complain about what a not great series this was from the Toronto Blue Jays, it could have been the Detroit Tigers series where you drop 3 to a bad team and get swept. So yes, end of the day, not thrilled with how this all went. But you could have been the Detroit Tigers. So, hey, bear with me, everybody. I know it's a little bit different episode. It's just me on here. First time I've done this. So I hope you guys are enjoying. I did want to let you guys in on sort of something new that Locked On is doing just before we hit the break. We're going to talk a little bit more about overall thoughts and feelings on this series moving forward to the next. And again, we'll tee up the Milwaukee Brewers series going into the next episode, but I did want to throw this in here for you guys as well. We have an important request from all of you. Locked On wants to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't like, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes a survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. Thanks for helping us out. It does mean a lot. Again, I got it up on the screen there. Didn't even know that was a thing the last time I read this. So cool. I like when we have banners and stuff. It makes the show a little bit more interesting and not just, me sitting here yapping on my screen. Obviously, I want to hear all your thoughts and your opinions down in the comment section below about how this series went, your thoughts on Jeff Hoffman. Obviously, sort of what Addison Barger has been able to do, not having the best of appearances as of late, but moving into hitting this huge double for the Toronto Blue Jays and pretty much single-handed. I don't want to say single-handedly. There was a lot of guys that did a lot of good here, but a guy from the depths of defeat coming back and making something happen. I want to hear all your guys' thoughts again. We'll come back. We'll talk more about this series and what was. I will also give you guys a little bit of a tee up for the next series against the Brewers coming up. Today's episode brought to you by Game Time. I always talk about how much I love Game Time. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live, the energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person. But actually getting tickets, that's a tough part. Queues, login screen, surprise fees, it takes the fun out of it all. Trust me. I've been trying to get tickets for this concert lately, and it's through this other ticketing site. And the problem is I'm sitting in a queue. The tickets get released. Then I get booted from the queue. It's super, super annoying. That's why I use Game Time. The app gives you the advantage back to the fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time 100% guarantee. You always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. All your fees are included as well. So the price you see is the price you pay. One of my favorite features from Game Time, because one of the worst experiences I've had is when you go to a checkout and you think you're spending so much on tickets, or you're buying for a group of friends, and it turns out every ticket is an extra $20 because of these surprise fees that you get in the checkout. Game Time doesn't do that, and that's what my favorite part about this app is. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. So the usual fans that come here are like, geez, I don't know if I've ever heard Brayden talk this much. I know he usually rambles on, but Jesus, this is a lot of just Iwasco. Well, you're not wrong. It's a lot of Iwasco. I'll give you that. Voice is going, but it's, sort of fun. I can sort of air out all my thoughts and feelings and in a more condensed way. Me and Carter usually, go on a little bit of a tangent. He'll be back tomorrow. We'll have lots more to come in regards to this Brewers series. We're going to have a cool sort of off day episode. There are a couple possibilities. I don't want to spoil anything yet because we have one big episode that we really want to do, but we don't know where to put it. So it's not an interview. It's just a huge idea that could be coming to the MLB. There is a lot of lockout talk to be had. There's a lot of interdivisional, switch ups that could happen, rivalries that could be now disbanded with how the league's talking. We'll get into all of that, within the coming days, weeks, whatever it may be, since, we have 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, every single week. So we hope you guys enjoy the content as usual. But I want to sort of wrap up this episode for you guys. And again, leave me your comments down below. Did I dislike this series? Am I somewhere in the middle? Personally, I didn't like this series. I didn't think the Toronto Blue Jays played their best brand of baseball. Yes, I'm happy that they still got the series win. But I'm not looking for wins or losses anymore. What I'm looking for is doing the little things right. The little things that are going to make this team not just a playoff team, but a serious contender. And in this series, I didn't see a team that is a playoff contender. I saw a team that is losing to one of the worst teams in baseball. And pulling it out, don't get me wrong. But not having an abundant amount of success. I think the offense looks like it can shine. The pitching does worry me. And again, I think what I've seen over the past bunch of games is that I can almost tell you now for certain, even though we are a month out, that I know at least 2 of the 3 playoff starters. And that's Kevin Gausman and Shane Bieber. And I think Max Scherzer is probably the 3rd, if I'm being 100% honest with everybody. Chris Bassitt, not doing it. Eric Lauer, as much as I do have faith in the guy, this is a bad showing. Jose Berrios. I just don't think he's the guy. And I'm willing to take arguments on that as well. If you guys think that Jose Berrios could be great, I'm willing to hear an argument. I think Chris Bassitt is better. I think he can be good out of the pen. So I think that's where he gets moved to. But this pitching staff, the bullpen's been bad. The bullpen's been really bad. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It's not been good. Tommy Nance, surprisingly, has been excellent. But a guy that you may not have on a playoff roster, you may. Time will tell. I'm just concerned. I'm concerned with how this is all going. I will be really shocked because we have seen this Toronto Blue Jays team face good teams and compete against good teams. I almost have the feeling that the Toronto Blue Jays play either down or up to their opponents, which can be a really good thing if you're talking about a playoff team. But when you're talking about having to finish high in the standings, you need to take games on the weaker teams. So I have faith in this team to compete against the teams like the Brewers and the Yankees and the Red Sox and whoever it else may be. But doubt starts to creep in after a series like this. And I bet you Detroit Tiger fans are in the same boat as of right now. So again, leave me your guys' thoughts, feelings, comments down below. I did want to throw this in here as well. Locked On doing another sort of college football big thing. So I'll sort of read you guys what's going on. It's another big moment of on Locked On. College football fans, Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holle, and Locked On's local experts at college football preview. Only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. You guys know you can watch our podcast on Fire TV as well. So appreciate wherever you guys listen to the podcast, whether it is on the Apple Music, Spotify, whatever, Amazon podcast, if that's what it's called, or if it is on here on YouTube and you guys do subscribe to us here, we appreciate that too. If it is on the Fire TV channel, that's cool. Let us know, actually. I'd love to know where everybody's sort of listening. If you are listening on those other platforms, hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Let us know where you guys are listening from. Just cool to have in my head. It's sort of where I can keep track of some of the numbers. I'm a big numbers guy. Outside of baseball, surprisingly, I'm an eye test guy for baseball, but whatever. I digress. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know it was a little different. It is what it is. We both work early. Times are all over the place. This isn't going to be a regular occurrence. Carter will be back and better than ever with us tomorrow. But it was fun. I honestly sort of enjoyed just being able to sort of ramble myself. And I know some of you guys might be like, wow, that's a lot from that guy. Maybe tomorrow I'll let Carter take the brunt of the episode and I'll sit back and, just give my 2 cents every once in a while. I'll give you guys a break from me. But in saying all of that, if you guys have been listening, also, if you guys follow me on Twitter, me and Carter have both been going on to Sportsnet doing radio hits with them. So if you guys want to tune into those as well, when they come out, you guys can follow us on Twitter so you guys get notified whenever we go on those shows or other Locked On shows or whatever it may be. Most of it is released on the Twitter account. So as always, thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate it more than ever. And let me know what you guys thought about the solo episode. Not quite the same banter, but it is what it is. Back and better than ever tomorrow with an off-day episode and previewing the Milwaukee Brewers series.